So what do you expect me to say?
Let's get him!
I know you need to feel this way.
Hey there, what's up internet? My name is BlackLightAttack with KBMOD.com and welcome to episode 2 Electric Boogaloo of KBMOD Indie. Today we're talking about Recettear and Item Shop's Tale, which is notable for being the first Japanese indie game available on Steam. Now, this game is available for $20 on Steam and was localized by startup indie localization group Carpe Fulgur. Now, there's a lot about this game that's out of the norm. Like, the name. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. I'm just guessing. I don't know if it's supposed to be Recettear or Recettear or, with a French accent, like Recettear. It's an amalgam of the two main characters' names, Recette and Tear, and the game isn't actually translated from Japanese, so Tear is referred to as Tirsu, and I refuse to call this game Recetatisu. Anyway, oddities aside, this little game has a lot to offer.
Ah yes, the JRPG. A genre in which exaggeratedly angsty teenagers with porcupines glued to their heads save the world one experience point at a time, and something is considered very dreadfully wrong with someone if they don't own an arcane demon sword the size of a German Shepherd by the age of 15. But you know who we never stop to appreciate in JRPGs? The merchants. The immobile, single-line spewing, forever stuck behind a desk lumps who get the whole adventure going. Sure, all of the best demon swords may be found in the claws of the world's biggest and most dangerous demon spiders for some reason, but who's going to provide the gear to take that guy down in the first place? Not to mention buy up all of your spare slime residue and warg twats. That's right, Recettear is an item shop simulator set in the aforementioned JRPG setting. The protagonist is Recette, an adorable little girl from an adorable little town sitting on some adorable deadly magic ruins that's attracting a ton of adorable little adventurers. Early on, we learn that Recette's stupid ass of a father decided to take out a huge loan, become the best equipped adventurer in the land, and then promptly die, leaving our hero with the debt of a lifetime. Sent to collect the debt is Tear, a fairy employed by the collections agency because apparently gnomes make shitty loan sharks. Video games usually use something incredible to distract us from the mundane, but one of their underrated uses is to take the mundane and make it incredible. Recettear falls into this latter category alongside other seemingly boring games like The Sims and Harvest Moon. For those uninitiated in the genre, this is the sort of game that you pick up idly on a Monday night, and by the end of your play session you still can't decide if you like it or not. Then you look at the clock and realize it's Thursday and start frantically coming up with excuses in your head for why you skipped half a week of work unannounced. In essence, Recettear has three main aspects: exploring the town to meet new characters and buy inventory from distributors, manning the store to move merchandise, and a dungeon diving side game that serves as a source of cheap inventory. Running a shop may seem like a daunting task, but the game actually does a fantastic job streamlining the many facets of fantasy retail into an easily enjoyable game without dumbing it down too much. Big sales feel rewarding with an easily tangible benefit, the market on different items fluctuates, and adventurers wait to be recruited to go dungeon diving for loot on your behalf. Running the shop from day to day is a surprisingly thoughtful and rewarding endeavor. The idea is, of course, to buy low and sell high. Customers who generally can't be bothered with trying to get a fair price will often bring you merchandise, allowing you to rip them off in ways that would make GameStop Incorporated beam with pride. There's something about paying half price for a trinket worth 25 large and then flipping it for 57k the next day that tickles the dopamine centers in my brain. The luck of the draw with price fluctuations can bite you in the balls though. I can recall at least one time a customer ordered 2 weapons which had been sitting pretty at the top of the overpriced shit list for some time. I reluctantly bought the stupid schmuck as swords at a huge markup, plus a few to keep handy for other customers, only to have the price of all weapons plummet the second I return to the fucking store. The market's ups and downs can be frustrating and can be played to your advantage, and it makes for a fantastic risk versus reward gambling aspect. The sim aspects of Recettear, such as expanding the store and outfitting it with island-themed wallpaper, is fun, but players might want to hold off on the first playthrough. Tear is a harsh mistress and demands exponentially increasing payments from week to week in order to keep progressing. Failure to meet these payments isn't the end of the world, as the game will simply restart while letting you keep all of your previously acquired inventory, but it's still a pain in the ass to start from day one. I found completing all 5 weeks to be surprisingly difficult, making it all the more rewarding once the game was over. That wasn't the end though, oh no. The post-game content is actually much more expansive than the main game. After the game is completed, players unlock the options of New Game Plus, which simply restarts the game while keeping all inventory, Survival Mode, which has the player trying to pay back infinitely increasing weekly loans, and Endless Mode, where loans are a thing of the past and the player is left to simply run the store. Although there was an initial lack of direction, Endless Mode felt to me like the one mode where the game really came into its own. It definitely has the most emphasis on the attractive Harvest Moon-like aspects of the game, and removes the nerve-wracking worry of having to meet Tear's demands each week. There's also loads more time to dungeon dive, since it's usually a relatively unprofitable and time-consuming activity. The dungeon crawling side game plays more like a traditional game than any other part of Recettear. It's your typical top-down hacky slasher with RPG elements, perhaps comparable to a simplistic Secret of Mana. Since Recettear are about as menacing as, well, a preteen girl and a fairy, they must hire adventurers to do the killing for them. The cost to enlist their service for an outing is low, but gaining new adventurers must come through exploration of the game's town in order to gain the trust of new recruits. The many different adventurers all have their own unique fighting styles and weapons, so choosing the right adventurer to fit your playstyle is a matter of experimentation. Dungeon crawling is really just a distraction from the main game, as the real meat of Recettear is to be found in haggling over gear. Still, it's a nice way to break up long bouts of getting your capitalism on, and serves as a good method of passing in-game time while waiting for the value of your stockpiled goods to rise. The story and interactions between the game's various characters unfold in the form of still picture dialogue. This might be a turn-off to some because it can be a bit dull. I wasn't particularly thrilled about it either, but as a long-standing fan of the Phoenix Wright series, I wasn't too bothered. The dialogue isn't exactly the most brilliant in the world, but it's cute and flavorful, and it did manage to get a few laughs out of me. Carpe Fulgur's influence shines here, as nothing feels too alien coming from its Japanese origins. And that's one thing to note, this game is really Japanese. I don't mean Japanese influence Western like a local hibachi, we're talking full-blown Japanese. Some people prefer this and others are indifferent, but there certainly exists a group of people in the world who won't touch a Japanese game because it reminds them of the time they were molested by a guy in Naruto cosplay. If you belong to the latter group, steer clear of this one. If a cutesy heavy anime tone doesn't bother you though, have at it. Did I mention that? It's cute? Because this game is really fucking cute. I'm not saying that as a compliment, I mean this game is uncomfortably cute. This isn't sweet like a box of chalky Valentine's hearts, this is sweet like a Cinnabon wrapped in Nerds rope and drizzled in high fructose corn syrup. This game is so fucking cute it gave me type 2 diabetes and my pancreas failed. I'm exaggerating, but the point stands. If you're the sort of twitchy, shooty, manly man who needs big tough army guys using big tough army guns to do big tough army shit, then this game isn't for you. If Hugh Jackman makes you sweaty but you're still lying to yourself about your sexuality, this game will probably make you uneasy. But if you don't mind swallowing your own machismo, if you're that flexible that is, it does have a lot to offer. Just don't let your girlfriend catch you playing it if you just recently managed to convince her that you're not gay after she caught you blowing a dude in the bathroom at Costco. This game won't help your argument. Overall, I would definitely recommend this game. It's pretty steep for an indie game at $20 US, but it was money well spent in my experience. I can't pretend Recettear is for everybody, but for those of you who can forgive its deathly cute anime trappings, there is a deep and severely addictive game waiting. Anyway, that'll do it for my 2 cents on Recettear. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, you can click the like button below the video, and if you really like it, you can add it to the favorites. Once again, I'm BlackLightAttack with KBMOD, and until next time, stay indie.